Welcome to PlusRowby, where we feature everything about Shopify Plus, trusted by merchants all over the world. Hello everybody, Emmy winner, Ninja Turtle writer, and Shopify partner and expert Roby Gorn here with a feature-packed PlusRowby webinar. Emmy winner? Turtles? I'll tell you all about it another day, no time for that now. Okay, here's our agenda. First up are my special guests, the developers of a great 5-star app, and they'll be with us live in just a bit. And I have a new feature, Shopify Plus in the News, which includes an announcement of an upcoming extra special webinar guest who will be dropping by next week, or the week after that. He's very busy. And also next week, I'll be doing a demo of an enormously popular Shopify Plus app called Flow. Wait until I show you some of the things Flow can do. Lots of Flow tips and tricks exclusive on PlusRowby. You won't want to miss that. So subscribe and share today and tell all of your friends if you have any. Okay, let's get going. If you're a Shopify Plus merchant, one of the headaches that comes along with your success are fake customer signups and spam email addresses overloading your newsletter lists, and skewed analytics caused by automated bots invading your website. It's a big problem, especially with high-volume Shopify Plus merchants. But now there is a solution, and it's quite amazing. With us live today to tell us all about it is Bill West, founder and CEO of Ellipsis Technologies, and John Schultz. John is the Chief Technology Officer of Ellipsis. So let's get into the meat of this, starting with the name of your app and what it does.
Sure, Robbie. Thank you. I'll give you a little background on the company. We got into this as we were working with e-commerce customers on different applications, and we saw that CAPTCHA, or any Turing test where where the buyers had to prove that they were human, had some problems. A number of people, up to 4%, depart the site as soon as they see the CAPTCHA, and up to 40% fail on the first attempt. So we just saw an opportunity there that you're either losing or annoying people that you spent a fortune bringing to your e-commerce site. So we looked at an alternative, and our original core product is one that collects timing and movement behavioral events, time of keystrokes, down, up, mouse movements, touches and swipes in the mobile and tablet environment. And we collect all of these events, and we've built machine learning algorithms, and we can identify with 100% accuracy whether a visitor is a human or not. And that's our core product. So when we wanted to move into the Shopify environment with a plug-in app, we analyzed the market, and we found that the bigger problem was form spam. So we focused on coming up with a technology that protects every form in a Shopify site. And as you pointed out, I think in the introduction, we've had hundreds of customers in just a little over a month, and on the Shopify and Shopify Plus environments. And we have nothing but 5-star reviews so far, as people point out that we are the first solution to totally protect them from spam bots, which were inundating their forms, the product review and the comment sections and their contact forms and the like. So we're very pleased. The Shopify community is so supportive. We can't get over it. It's wonderful conversations both with the customers as well as Shopify support, and it's been a great experience. As an aside, I'll tell you, because I think we mentioned this in a phone call with you, Robbie, how we came up with the name Ellipsis for our core product, even though the Shopify app is called Shop Protector. And when we were developing our technology and collecting the data points and building our models, the developers and I all were emailing each other probably every 5 or 10 minutes. And we noticed that none of us used punctuation. We all used a little ... So we said, well, that's a distinctively human thing to do. A bot wouldn't do that ever. So that's the name of our company, the Ellipsis. So with that, I think you wanted to get into the meat and the workings of our app. And at this point, I'll turn it over to John Schultz, who is our Chief Technical Officer, and John has been personally in contact with dozens and dozens of Shopify and Shopify Plus users and Shopify Plus support people to date. So he has vast inner workings of the Shopify environment.
Can I ask you one question? So you cover the contact forms. You cover things like customer sign up too, which I think that's the last thing that a high volume enterprise merchant wants is a bunch of fake customer signups too. So you cover the whole range of form related spam issues, including newsletters.
Right. Yeah. Actually, you can use any kind of form, whether it be just a straight up HTML form. If you're embedding that right into your Shopify Liquid templates, Liquid is the templating language that the Shopify site uses, or you can use the Liquid tags themselves, which is not to get too techy, but if you know how to use those include tags, then that makes it easy. You can use your contact form, your newsletter sign up form, your account create customer form, so that you can stop fake account creation and spam submissions and phony newsletter sign up.
Let's see how it's all done from the back end. If you can show us there, show us your desktop.
Sure. I'm actually going to come to the listing for our app in the App Store for Shopify, and you can see that it's called Shop Protector, developed by Human Presence Technology. And the Human Presence Technology is the core product that runs in the background, and that actually analyzes and creates a real-time session for the user, whether it being a bot or actual user. And so we profile those things and use our machine learning algorithms and proprietary behavior analysis to be able to mitigate the risk by finding out by painting the session as a human or a bot. And that way, when someone needs to, and if any point of action being in this case a form submission, we can know right away whether it's a human or a bot. So let me actually show you a typical install. I'm going to go ahead and click Get and install it on my development app site. So this is the install screen. You've seen this many times before if you've installed a Shopify app. And I'm going to go ahead and approve the $4.99 a month after the trial. And it takes me to this app setup screen. This first thing I see, there's only a couple steps to go through. I'm going to go ahead and click Let's Get Started. And then I can choose to read through the terms of service if I want to. And if you have an existing account, because you have maybe another, you maybe have our Drupal plugin or our Magento or any of the other channels that we have, you can go ahead and use that here. Otherwise, you can create one. So I'm going to create one now just so you can see that behind the scenes it's actually creating an account for you. Right off the bat, you can see that successfully it worked. And the next step is going to be, now that you have an account and you've connected your store with your Human Presence account, you can click Protect My Shop. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to go and protect those forms. So you can see I've got one form right here protected, and this is the register form, the create account form. And this is actually something that I previously set up, but if you hadn't set it up, it would actually go through the prompts and show you that it's protecting in the background. And once you now anybody, if they come to the site, whether it be a bot or a human, it's going to go ahead and protect that and only let the humans through. You can actually add additional ones if you want to click the Protect New form, and you can choose from either a couple of the predetermined options for the usual suspects and auto-discover them, or you can manually put it in. If it's an HTML form, you can put any kind of HTML code in there and register that form.
This is so important to a Shopify or Shopify Plus merchant because if you're running a campaign, for example, an expensive campaign, a newsletter campaign, or Facebook or whatever, you want to make sure that your analytics are showing correct information as to who was really interested in your product. And a bunch of spam bots are not going to help your marketing team, which means that your inventories will be wrong, your idea of what your customers are looking for, what appeals to them, is all messed up because you got a bunch of spam people in your site. And by getting rid of them, you have a much more effective campaign, for example.
Absolutely.
And then as a side note, with MailChimp, Constant Contact, and the others, you're paying in many cases for how many emails you send out. So you're spending more money for that too.
That's right.
Now, what happens to these people, these spam bots? What choices does the merchant have with once your system designates this particular customer as a piece of spam or a bot? What do they do?
That's a great question. Well, since it's machine learning, we have the added benefit of continually, adding qualifiers to that session. So as they crawl through the site, it's going to become. It's going to either reinforce it if it sees more suspicious behavior. It's going to reinforce that it's a bot and continue to paint that session as a bot. Or if there's something that inherently we measure as human, it's going to correct that. Not that we have problems with that. There's not really false positives there, but it basically just continually learns is what I'm trying to get at.
But you can send them to, for example, if you want to, you can send them to another site. I think you once mentioned to me offline, and also you can also send them to a I'm not a robot if you have if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up too, Roby. That's something that we're actually in development for right now for our Shopify Plus customers. We're excited to offer a new feature. It's not out yet; it's in development, but we anticipate releasing that in the next few weeks. But it's going to be exciting because on a lot of our other channels, you already have the ability to set up what we call routing. That's the name of the feature that we call that, where we actually can use the API to check the signal of the current session, and if you want to go ahead and set up a gate on your site and say, hey, if any bot comes to this page or this, these few pages or whatever, you can actually then take that at that point, take a snapshot and say, if this is a bot, I'm going to send them to a CAPTCHA page, just or some other part of the website, or but for humans it's completely invisible and they get through and don't even know that there was anything happening in the background.
When a customer arrives at your site wanting to buy something, you don't want to annoy them by making them figure out CAPTCHAs, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I think Bill likes to share that statistic a lot, but there's and I'll let him share what the actual numbers are. But you are in fact punishing your customers when they have to come to a UI, a part of the UI that's not really intrinsic to your store or to your shopping experience, and have to prove that you're human. And a lot of times the statistics show that they actually leave. Bill, what was that number you mentioned before as far as the percentage?
Yeah, it's as I said before, Roby. We find that 3 to 4% of people, as soon as they see a test of any kind of Turing test, which CAPTCHA falls into that category, they depart the site immediately without even trying. So you've lost 3 to 4% of the people you spend a fortune bringing to your site. And as I said earlier, up to 40% fail on the first attempt, and there's a drop-off rate there. So, and they are getting more and more difficult all the time, these tests, as the bots get smarter. So that percentage is only going to go up. So we totally eliminate that. There's no testing for humans. If you're a human and you come to a site to buy something, you get on. If you're not, we divert you off. We route them off.
So I don't have to figure out what's a cat and what's a dog, what's a bridge, what's a sign.
Exactly.
I never get those right. Usually there's a little bit of that sign in another square, and by then, I think I'll buy somewhere else. And,
exactly, and that's what happens. So we eliminate that totally. If you're a human and come to a site to buy something, we let you on unencumbered, and you can buy. And as John said, we'll be releasing this feature in the next few weeks as a Shopify Plus feature. And just on initial conversations with the Shopify Plus support staff, we think this will be very well received.
All right, let me see now. Let's look at the analytics section of your site where you go into, I see how you set it up, but how does your analytics work? It's pretty straightforward.
Let me go to the dashboard real quick. So if I log into the dashboard, which there's a link from the app to click on, you log in with your account that you created or the one that we created for you, and you log in and see your actual human versus suspicious traffic, and you can see the nice little pie chart here. You can also come down and see the totals. You've got for the last 4 weeks, and then you've got a nice little line chart down here, and you can hover over them and see the blue is suspicious and the white is human. But you can see that on average, this customer is actually pretty close to our average. It tends to be right around 20% suspicious is what most sites average out. Some of them are higher, and they have a significant bot problem. Others are a little lower, a little below the radar, especially newer sites that haven't been on the web as long and haven't been crawled as much. But you can see that as it fluctuates, we can kind of show that ratio and that percentage of human versus suspicious, and then total as well.
I mean,
Some people use these metrics to actually compare against their ad campaigns. Others use it to look at just the analytics, because it would be different than some other analytics platforms out there, because everybody uses a custom algorithm for how they try and weed out fake traffic. Ours is pretty unique in the sense that we actually use real patented behavior analysis instead of looking at things that are, a little more arbitrary.
Yeah, just a bunch of numbers, because they're just looking at hits and things like that. You're not thinking about, is this hit created by a human? What's being pinged here?
Correct.
And when I think about, 19, 20% of a enterprise website, a Shopify Plus site, where you have a huge amount of traffic. I mean, some of these Shopify Plus sites, thousands of people are going through their sites a day, and 15 to 20% of them are fake. It just is not the way you want to work. You don't want to have a bunch of bots coming into your brick and mortar store, and you certainly don't want to have it going onto your online store either.
No, that's right, Robbie. As John was saying, we have some digital marketing firms that are clients that are doing A/B testing, as John mentioned. They look at the percentage of suspicious traffic before a campaign and immediately after it to see if a campaign drove in an unusually high number of bots. And if so, they go back and reanalyze their campaign and say, what did we do wrong here? And they adjust it accordingly. But as you can see, overall, what we're focused on, and I think you pointed out, Roby, is the user experience when you come to a website to buy something, and ultimately conversions for the e-commerce store owner if they're not losing 3 to 4% right off the bat, and if they're not having all the failures with drop-off rates there, their conversions mathematically go up from there. And that's pretty much the focus, user experience and conversions for our customers.
One great way to see how effective Shop Protector is to check the Shopify App Store's reviews. And based on those reviews, I'd say Shop Protector is an instant success with both Shopify experts as well as very happy merchants.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me actually share my screen again. So it's always a rewarding thing to see actual customers coming back and validating the experience instead of just taking our word for it. So as you can see, there's quite a few reviews here for not being on the App Store, for a really long time. But they're all positive.
They certainly are. Here's a couple of happy merchant reviews that I looked at before our webinar. Here's the first one. We've been inundated with bot spam through our forums, getting worse every day. I contacted Shopify and they said there was really nothing that could be done. We could pay for a reCAPTCHA app, but even that wouldn't stop it. Then I found Shop Protector. I had some serious doubts, but thought we'd give it the 14-day trial and see what happened. After setting it up, not a single spam email. And here's another one. I was getting slammed with spam, and the other options for a capture email form were really ugly and did not seem to work. Then I discovered John and his team, and they did something magic to my site with no changes to my existing email contact form, and the spam totally stopped. I'm so relieved. So many thanks to John and his team. I highly, highly recommend this app if you're having trouble with spam. And the interesting thing, Bill, is even though you've only been in the Shopify App Store for a few months, your company has been out there doing all kinds of human analytics technology. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
We've been around for about 2 years, selling mostly enterprise users at this point, digital marketing firms and the like. We found that as we were selling enterprise users that we seemed to do extraordinarily well in the e-commerce environment, and so obviously we were attracted to Shopify. If you're in e-commerce, that's where you go. We worked with the Shopify staff and support group to put our app in the App Store. And as an aside, the support is unbelievable, and the support from the the gurus and the support specialists at Shopify is incredible when we deal with customers and the like. So we're thrilled to be part of that environment. We're doing better than we ever thought. There's more people downloading it. The 5-star reviews are especially rewarding, but even more than that, the conversations we've had with customers that didn't write a review, and the mission support people at Shopify who are working with their clients who we've solved their problem is especially rewarding to us every day. So yeah, it's been great working with Shopify to date.
So you've got fans over with the gurus over there who I agree with you are the most amazing people, the Shopify support staff and the Shopify and Shopify Plus team over there who are also amazing people to work with. So you're in the right place, and this has been a very interesting rundown of Shop Protector. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's great. I mean, we're having fun right now, and for the last month or so, we've been having conversations with Shopify Plus customers and the Shopify Plus support people, and that's why we're going to be even enhancing our product further to meet some of the specific needs in the Shopify Plus environment, and those announcements will come out in the next week or two.
I can't wait to see these new enhancements which you are already starting to roll out. You know, I get so excited doing these webinars because I'm dealing only with the cream of the crop solutions, and certainly Shop Protector is right up there. So thanks, Bill and John, for joining us.
Thank you, Roby.
Thank you very much, Roby.
To find out more about protecting your site, visit the Shopify App Store and sign up for Shop Protector, or you can contact me and I'll be happy to help you. Okay, coming up now is Shopify Plus in the news. First up from Motley Fool, Apple Computer's CEO Tim Cook recently said he's a big fan of Shopify. Cook visited Shopify's headquarters to check out Shopify's upcoming new feature for its merchants incorporating augmented reality. In a huge breakthrough, the AR team at Shopify worked with home and lifestyle brand Magnolia Market to create an amazing augmented reality iPhone app using Apple's technology. The app lets customers select a product on their iPhone and see how it would look in their own home from the front, back, top, inside, whatever angle they wanted. I'm sure one reason Tim Cook likes all this is because the customer can pay for the product using Apple Pay. Ho-ho! Aaron Orendorff is the editor-in-chief of Shopify Plus, as well as a regular contributor to sites like Mashable, Lifehacker, Entrepreneur, Business Insider, Fast Company, The Huffington Post, and more. Aaron is always sharing and writing fascinating and informative articles on e-commerce and marketing and other great stuff. I follow him on Twitter and LinkedIn and subscribe to his newsletter, and you should too. Here's a new Shopify Plus blog item from Aaron with Johannes C. In this article, Aaron asks, can you growth hack the enterprise? And shares gems from 17 of the top enterprise executives from the biggest online companies. Each of these e-commerce rock stars gives us a nugget of their insights that will inspire you. These people are the top marketing peeps at LinkedIn, Slack, Western Union, BuzzFeed, Guy Kawasaki, Shopify Plus, T-Mobile, Mercedes-Benz, Dropbox, Adobe. Well, the list goes on and on. Some gems from the article that I particularly like include one from Hermone Way, who is the former head of European communications at Tinder. She says, growth hacking is the buzzword of now, but that doesn't matter. It used to describe a person who is able to grow a sales channel organically. And she continues, you can throw all the money you want at paid ads and get good results, but a growth hacker can get good results by spending nothing, often by employing social networks, apps, and content in an unusual way that most people have not figured out yet. And here's another one from Matthias Riedel, co-founder and chief growth officer of DCMN. Within companies, a holistic understanding means not to relegate a single job as growth marketer, but to implement the growth mindset for the whole organization. It is not isolated, single players driving sustaining growth. The whole company needs to live, breathe, and act growth. You can check out Aaron's full blog post at shopify.com/enterprise/growth-strategies. You'll find a link to the blog post in the show notes description. Also, I'm excited to announce that Aaron is going to be my extra special guest next week, or whenever he can make it, and share some more of his insights with all of us. So stay tuned. Next week, we'll have another live PlusRowby show all about Shopify Plus. We'll have some special guests and the latest news about Shopify Plus. See you then. Join us next time for PlusRowby, where we feature everything about Shopify Plus, including behind the scenes at Shopify Plus, app demos, and interviews with Shopify key players, podcasts, webinars, and much more. Please share, like, tweet, retweet, and, well, you get my drift. I'm Roby Gorin. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you at PlusRowby.com.